So I'm watching fucking goddamn um Hot 97. Lupe Fiasco was on there, sparked an interesting conversation. Right, the whole the way they captioned the video of it, it was kind of bullshit in a sense. But then at the end of the day, you gotta watch it to get it. So it was basically saying that Lupe was like, Rosenberg hugged Kendrick Lamar nuts. Pause. Right. So I'm like, oh, this is about to be an interesting video. Not to say it wasn't interesting. It was interesting. Lupe talked about some real shit, cancer and this and that. But basically, you got to get to about the 20-minute mark of the video. It's like 36 minutes and some change. And that's when it starts. So they speaking on lyricists and the best, and again, on that Khaled shit, the best, right? Rosenberg speaks on it, and he says that Kendrick is the best. And Lupe's face, like, he couldn't believe what he was hearing, right? Not to discredit Kendrick, you know what I mean? But it just his face. And so it got to a point where you can see Rosenberg getting pretty fucking mad because he's like, who do you think the best? King Los. He said King Los. Logic. Go watch that video. Look at the comment sections. He said that those are type of lyricists, like above Kendrick Lamar. You feel what I'm saying? And then Rosenberg went on to say that in the last 10 years, like a body of work, because he kept saying, Rosenberg was like, well, Logic hasn't really put anything out like that far as the album, or Los, what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, which is crazy because I look at the Rosenberg shit like, bruh, you had even Kendrick Lamar himself say out of every Control verse, King Los. You know what I'm saying? So if you could sit there and say that Good Kid, Mad City is the best work in 10 years, then that fucking song, his Control freestyle, was the fucking best freestyle in the last decade alone. You dig what I'm saying? But someone debate that. So basically this video is about who do y'all think is the best lyricist. But before that, Ebro, they chimed in on, albums and shit like that. That's how the Good Kendrick album came up, and Ebro was like, Watch the Throne. And I was like, really? The public didn't even fuck with that, but whatever. So then Ebro switched it to, let's talk about now, the new wave of rappers, new generation, Kendrick, Logic, you could say Los in a sense, even though he's been out for not that long, but well, you know what I'm saying, as far as now. So you could throw Los in there. And I think it was one more name. But at the end of the day, it's just like saying Lupe trying to prove a point that Rosenberg hugs Kendrick nuts. Pause. And in a sense, we've all seen that. If you go to every fucking video, if Kendrick was on there, if anything about Kendrick was said, hey, read the comment section. He does do that. Like, he is really just dick riding Kendrick. Pause. I don't understand that. Even, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say Lupe threw Kendrick under the bus by saying, like, Section 80 was, like, what sparked the interest and said that he's great because Lupe gave him some type of awards before his album dropped. But I think it was crazy in the last 10-year bracket that he would say Good Kid, Mad City, last 10 years, right, is the best body of work in the last decade alone. Because, how can I put this? Lupe dropped all his albums within the last 10-year period, right? Right? I think he came out 04. So every body of work that Lupe has put out is in that margin of a 10-year bracket. And you trying to tell me that one album that Kendrick put out is fucking with at least the first two albums of Lupe Fiasco? I don't even see that fucking with the Cool, in my personal opinion, because I fuck with his first album, The Cool, even Lasers, and even Food and Liquor 2 definitely was crazy. But The Cool, that's when I was like, this nigga has transcended as far as lyricists. You dig what I'm saying? So what the topic is, who do y'all think out of the names between the two, King Los, Logic, and Kendrick, who's the better lyricist? Because I was a Logic fan, am a Logic fan, but when Lupe himself said it, I was like, wow, that has to pit. If Logic wasn't paying attention, that has to make you understand what has happened. Now, Ebro would sit there and say that Lupe can control us, like you know what I'm saying. He'll troll us and say certain shit like, "Oh, I'm not the best." And Lupe called himself a C plus rapper, which I think is fucking bullshit. That nigga's an A plus rapper. You dig what I'm saying? But I didn't understand. It's like, wait, after I understood what had just happened, I could have said, like, I mean, Rosenberg could have said at least in the last, let's say, 4 years, 5 years, period. You feel me? That's what Lupe got to said. Not a set, but the way he said it is like, nigga, you could have said basically 5 years. You said a whole decade. Like, that's a slap in the face to, that's what, 2003? That's a slap in the face to a lot of lyricists that put out albums from 2003 to now. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, wait, what? Nigga, Graduation dropped. What are you talking about? You had Lupe album drop. Are you fucking joking? And then Lupe went on to say Joe Budden can't spit. And Rosenberg was like, yeah, he can spit, but what has he put out something in the last decade that has stopped, basically just saying Kendrick album stopped the world. It was on some Michael Jackson shit. It was just crazy. Like, he had a great concept. I think it was a good album. We know I fuck with that album. But the whole concept, it was dope. A day in the life of Kendrick. Basically, to get the whole story, you gotta play the album backwards. That's incredible, right? But let's not get it twisted. He haven't dropped shit since. I mean, verses, yeah, hit and miss. But even, Lupe threw a nice jab at, Kendrick and saying, yeah, swimming pools, that great song, swimming in liquor. And then Rosenberg, piggybacked that and was like, oh, but all the entendres on top of entendres in that song. You know what I'm saying? And basically, swimming pools, nobody really liked it, that shit. Let's keep it real. Like, nobody gave a fuck about that record. That one or the second record. They didn't give a fuck about really Kendrick popping until Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. That's when the shit took off, right? Because how many people, let's keep it real, how many out there was fucking with Section 80? I got up on Section 80 based on, shout out to Nick Bag and Dead End Hip Hop, because I was like, what is this? I kept hearing about Section 80, definitely from Nick Bag, because what the fuck is Section 80? What is Kendrick Lamar? And I think he bashed it or something like that, and I'm like, I must, check this out. And then I heard Dead End Hip Hop talk about it. That's how I found out about Logic. So once I heard Section 80, I was like, wow, because I'm a fan of lyricists, lyrical music, period. I'm biggest Joe Budden fan, Lupe Fiasco, Nas, Kanye. So at the end of the day, when I heard that Section 80, I was like, okay, yeah. So it made me wonder. I went back and got all his other shit. The C4 mixtape he put out, Kendrick Lamar, the EP, all that shit. Every independent album that he released, and I was like, wow, son is nice. But to just say that his album in the last decade is the best shit popping over a lot of classic shit, and y'all out there can contest to that. I'm quite sure y'all know an album in the last 10 years that y'all can say is better than, Kendrick shit. Nas Life is Good album. Crazy. Like, what the fuck was it? I don't know. I think King Los definitely hasn't put out a debut album. You know how they do that shit. They did the same shit with Drake. They did the same shit with Kendrick. J. Cole, he put out mixtapes and everything, but he haven't put out a body of work, right? And then as soon as the body of work come out, what happens? Oh, yeah, we knew it the whole time with all of them. No matter who you name. But it's just to say that, all right, when did Kendrick album come out? A year or two ago? Like, something like that? So it's like, bruh, like, it's been a minute. Like, I don't want it to be that Dr. Dre syndrome where we waiting 5 years for another album. Because I think what's going to kill Kendrick, like, he going to do something different, but I don't know if he can. His first album was crazy, classic, like forever. Like, you'll listen to that shit 10 years from now. But I don't think he's going to be able to capitalize off that. Because some people come out with a dope debut album, they sophomore suck, then by their third, they get, you know what I mean? Because like Wale said, at least by your second, if not by your second, by your third determines you going to be here or not. J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? I'll make that for another video. But who y'all think really fucking with the lyrical? Who y'all think out of those three? Kendrick, Logic, and King Los. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep this video short. But I just thought that was crazy. So go to Hot 97 on YouTube, look it up, watch that video, and tell me what y'all think about it. I just had to drop that off. I'm out. One.